Hello, Sharks. I'm Jonathan Little for PokerCoaching.com. You all know me, and today we are back with more hands from High Stakes Duel, this time featuring Phil Hellmuth and Tom Dwan. The structure of this game is a little bit convoluted. Basically, they play 3 rounds, but if someone loses, they can quit. And every time you play a new round, the stakes double. So, this time, Phil Hellmuth beat Nick Wright, not a poker player, in the first round. Now he is playing against Tom Dwan. Want me to spoil it for you? Who won? We'll probably spoil it for you at the end. Anyway, whoever lost has the option to play again for double the stakes. I think this time they're playing for a $100,000 buy-in. That sounds right. $100,000 buy-in. The winner gets $200,000. You all know Phil Hellmuth. He's been around the poker world for forever. He has infinite World Series of Poker bracelets, infinite in caches. You all know him. He's the poker brat and the king of heads up sit and goes. His opponent is Tom Dwan. You all know Tom Dwan? He used to be the absolute in-boss of No Limit, Texas Hold'em Online, and PLO to some extent. He has been, we'll say missing for a while. I think he just was in China, cleaning up all the home games. Well, not home games, sorry, cash games. And now he's back. He's playing all over. He's in the media a little bit more, and he has decided to show up and play High Stakes Duel. Give Phil Hellmuth a little bit of action. All right, let's take a look at this hand. They are playing relatively shallow stacked in this game. We're playing only 17 big blinds deep. Right in Phil Hellmuth's wheelhouse. He loves getting in there, playing shallow stack poker. So it seems. Let's take a look. Tom Dwan has King 2 offsuit on the small blind, which is also the button. He raises it up to 9,000. Fine and good. King 2 is certainly a reasonable hand to play. You may want to have a limping range, but King 2's not really a great hand to limp with because if you raise and your opponent folds, that's just fantastic. And it doesn't especially play well post-flop. If you limp and your opponent in the big blind checks, you have to play post-flop. Whereas if you raise, you don't play post-flop every time, right? So, pretty reasonable hand to raise. Phil Hellmuth calls. His hand's going to be a mystery. Flop comes 9-5-2. Hellmuth checks. And Tom Dwan can go either way with this bottom pair. I think checking is fine. Betting is fine. When your bottom pair is really susceptible to getting outdrawn, like a 2 is, I think betting is usually more reasonable than if the board was, let's say, King, Queen, 9, if you're sitting there with a hand like Ace 9. In that scenario, if you have Ace 9, your bottom pair top kicker is pretty unlikely to get outdrawn because the only bad cards for you are realistically a Jack or 10 on King, Queen, 9, right? But on 9-5-2, any card could be bad for you. That said, checking back is also perfectly fine. This is a very clear marginal made hand. Checking's fine. Either play seems reasonable to me. Tom Dwan does go for the check back. One thing worth noting is that you don't really want to get check shoved on in this scenario. If you do bet this hand and get shoved on, it's probably a reluctant call because in this scenario, Phil Hellmuth can have all sorts of draws that have decent equity, right? If you give him any open-ended straight draw, gut shot, over cards with backdoor flush draw, he may just decide to rip it in on you, and if that's the case, you have to make the reluctant call. And worst case, you usually have 5 outs. So if you do bet this and get shoved on playing this shallow, you probably have to call it off just because you're getting pretty good pot odds. Anyway, Tom Dwan does go for the check. Turns a 5. Phil Hellmuth now applies a little bit of pressure. 11,000 into 18,000. Well, sticking with the plan, marginal made hand. Tom Dwan's not folding. Seems like an easy spot to call. You may say, why not raise? Well, if you raise, what's going to happen? Hellmuth's going to call with all of his good hands and fold all of his bad hands. King 2, in this scenario, is not doing great against all the good hands, and it's doing pretty well against all the bad hands. So in this scenario, there is no point in raising whatsoever. River is the 3. Kind of a nasty card. A lot of draws come in. And Phil Hellmuth goes 27,000, half of his remaining stack, leaving himself 6 big blinds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 big blinds only. Is he ever bluffing? What do you think? Take a second and consider what you would do in Tom Dwan's situation with bottom pair, okay kicker. Pause the video and write what you would do in the comment section below. Would you fold, call, or make a ridiculous all-in? Not a good option. Write what you would do in the comment section below. All right. This is an annoying spot for sure because The 3 actually does complete some draws, but at the same time, it also doesn't complete a whole lot of draws. Realize that Hellmuth could easily have a hand like 8-7, right? Got shot that missed. He could easily have 7-6. Got shot that missed. He could easily have 8-6. He could easily have a hand like Queen-Jack or Queen-8, right? That just decided to go for the turn and river bluff. So in this scenario, when you do beat lots and lots of busted draws, and your hand may be a little bit underrepresented because perhaps maybe Hellmuth thinks that Tom has a whole lot of ace-high type hands that he may fold to a turn plus river bet, I think this is a spot where you just have to call. The only time you would ever be able to reasonably fold here is if you know very confidently that Phil Hellmuth basically never bluffs using this bet size. And I know many of you in the comment section think that Hellmuth is a super nit and he just does not bluff. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. But you have to presume your opponent playing in $100,000 buy-in heads-up matches is probably at least competent, and they are capable of bluffing from time to time. Also worth noting is that Hellmuth did take a polarized bet size, right? Where he bets 27,000 into 40. In that scenario, he's going to have a range that is really good made hands and busted draws, right? And in this scenario, there actually aren't all that many really good made hands, just a 9 and a 5, right? The fact that the 5 is paired actually makes it a little bit less likely he has a made hand, whereas if the board was instead like 9, 5, 2, 6, let's say, then he could have a few more premium made hands, just a few more combinations of those, right? So this is a spot where I think it's a pretty easy call. Interestingly enough, if he bets smaller, like 10,000, maybe he's betting with a wider range for value, but even then, as he bets wider and wider for value, he may be value betting a hand like 4-2 suited for all we know that we beat. So no matter how you look at this spot, unless Phil Hellmuth is the weakest, tightest nit in the world, it's just a call. Tom DWAN calls, and he caught Phil Hellmuth speeding. Speeding? Speeding? Is that even English? Goodness gracious. Speeding. He caught Phil Hellmuth speeding. Somehow that's a tongue twister. He caught Phil Hellmuth speeding. Try to say it yourself on your end. If you did it right, let me know in the comment section. So, that's it for this hand. I'm about to spoil who won this match. If you've not already watched it on PokerGO, make sure you head over to PokerGO and watch it. Okay? We'll have a countdown. 3, 2, 1. All right. Phil Hellmuth lost. He won 7 in a row, finally lost 1. The question on everyone's mind is, will he double the stakes and step back in the arena against Tom DWAN? What do you think? What do I think? I think he's not going to do it, but he may. I want to see it. I want to see it. If you want to see it, let Phil Hellmuth know on Twitter that you want to see it, and let me know in the comment section if you think Hellmuth will get in the ring and double the stakes and play a $200,000 buy-in heads-up match against the end boss of the past era of online poker, Tom DWAN. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's going to be it for today. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and click the like button, click the subscribe button, and click the notification bell. I have a few more really fun hands from this match lined up for you, so make sure you click the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of them. Good luck in your games. Have a great, great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Howdy, partners. Station Master Little here with a public service announcement.
It's come to my attention that a few of you have become extreme calling stations. Now, I love calling. I'm the station master after all. But you can't call with queen high every time. Sometimes you have to fold.
Click subscribe to make sure you don't become a super station.